That loaf of bread you bought this week, there's a chance it lived before. Baked once. Sold. Returned to the factory. And then, something happened to it in a room you'll never see. It came back. Different packaging. New date. Same flour. Manufacturers have a word for this, reprocessing. Most people have another word for it. But here's what the labels don't mention: it's completely legal. Regulated. Approved by the same agencies that inspect your grocery store. Every year, billions of pounds of returned food quietly re-enter the supply chain. Not as waste, but as ingredients. The industry calls it waste reduction. And technically, it is. Landfills shrink. Costs drop. Efficiency climbs. But when you pick up that flawless package under clean supermarket lights, you're holding a history the wrapper will never tell. What happens in the factories between expired and new? And why is the line between sustainability and deception so easy to cross when no one's watching? You've probably eaten reprocessed food this week. Maybe today. The system counts on you never knowing. Inside the return chain, the illusion becomes industry. When food leaves the shelf, most people assume it's gone. It's not. It enters the return chain, a vast, $218 billion system that quietly transforms expired or returned products into new inventory. Bread baked yesterday may be ground into crumbs. Yogurt past its sell-by date can become cultured dairy base. Broken chips and candies are reworked into coatings for snacks you see every day. Each item moves through machines, blending, pasteurizing, and emerging with a fresh date and a clean label. What once had a date, a history, a route, is now untraceable. The process happens behind walls you'll never see through. Labels change, packaging swaps, and the ingredients are anonymous. Next time you see natural flavoring on a label, and it's everywhere, notice this: natural might not mean fresh, or even original. It could be from last month's returned inventory. The difference is invisible. That's by design. The system runs on a single principle: no one's watching. Few notice. Fewer care. Most consumers never suspect the paths their food has taken. The labels get replaced. The dates get reset. But one thing never changes. Inside the factory, the machines, the grinding, and the relabeling that make the $218 billion cycle possible. When returned food enters the factory, most people assume it's gone. It's not. It's moving through machines designed to erase its history. Conveyor belts rattle with motion. Expired bread, broken chips, and old yogurt are dumped into crushers. Steam rises as pasteurizers sterilize every trace. Workers operate alongside, but the real work is mechanical, relentless, precise, and hidden from view. What once had a date, a history, a route, is now untraceable. Labels are removed, coatings transformed, ingredients reborn into new products. The smell of overripe dairy mingles with the metallic clang of chutes. Industrial heat hums, punctuating the rhythm of erasure. The machines create the appearance of freshness. The paperwork ensures no one can trace what came before. Humans see order, but the system thrives on anonymity and absence. The process transforms memory. What existed is gone, replaced by what must appear normal. And yet, the pattern repeats endlessly. The machines make it new. The paperwork makes it invisible. And the loophole ensures no one questions either. The factory transforms the product. But the real transformation happens on paper. Regulatory agencies distinguish rework from adulteration. The former is permitted recycling, the latter is contamination. The line between them is documented compliance. The law watches the procedure, not the origin. Steel and conveyors enable the process. Documents make it legal. Operators oversee the machines, auditors check compliance, but no one questions the source. Every move is meticulously logged. A yogurt returned Monday becomes cultured base by Wednesday. Batch numbers adjusted, inventory sheets rewritten, dates reset. The audit trail is complete, and the origin is gone. What was once rejected is legally invisible. The system runs on selective attention, everyone monitors process, no one questions source. Labels become instruments of fiction, documentation the medium of erasure. Billions of pounds circulate under this invisible system, legally untouchable, statistically untraceable, and sitting in pantries around the country. Compliance is satisfied, history is gone. But what does this mean ethically, and who decides where the line is drawn? A yogurt expires on Tuesday. By Thursday, manufacturers have transformed it into cultured dairy for a protein bar. The container changed, the date changed, but something else changed too, something the label won't reveal. Millions of pounds of food pass through the system in silence, reaching kitchens, school cafeterias, and dinner tables looking perfectly fresh. The industry frames it as sustainability. Critics call it deception. Both are true. And every decision lands on dinner tables. Proteins denature. Vitamins diminish. Oils accumulate compounds that wouldn't exist in the original product. This is the silent cost. Not legal compliance, not paperwork, but the measurable, human impact, what the body receives, what compounds accumulate, and what trust vanishes one meal at a time. Understanding the cost requires understanding the process. And that process has consequences science is only beginning to measure. Everyone throws away perfectly edible food. Manufacturers count on it. That's how the same product can be sold again. A yogurt discarded this week might reappear in next month's protein bar. The container changes, the date changes, but molecular transformations remain. Proteins denature. Vitamins degrade. Oils accumulate compounds that wouldn't exist in the original product. Temperature fluctuations during transport or storage can trigger microbial activity, producing compounds that are chemically active, legally permitted, and invisible to consumers. Studies tracking recycled food products reveal elevated oxidation markers. These compounds are linked to inflammation and cellular stress. The effects are subtle, cumulative, and nearly impossible to trace to a single meal. That breakfast bar labeled 20g protein might contain dairy base that's been heated 3 times, each cycle degrading amino acids and concentrating oxidation compounds. Regulation satisfied. Sustainability targets met. Yet the hidden costs accumulate, silently, invisibly, in bodies that become repositories for decisions made in distant factories. The system requires participation from both sides. Consumers discard, manufacturers reclaim, and the cycle continues. The system works because few connect the dots between expired yogurt and tomorrow's protein bar. Understanding the toll means seeing the entire cycle and recognizing your place within it. That fresh-looking yogurt, bread, or protein bar carries a hidden history. Molecularly, it's been somewhere else first. Understanding the cycle reveals the limits of consumer choice. Knowledge changes what you see, but not what the system allows. Labels don't reveal history. Understanding the processes won't change them. The system is legal. But recognition changes perception. Temperature fluctuations, repeated heating, microbial activity, each leaves chemical traces. Oxidation compounds. Denatured proteins. Concentrated oils. Subtle, cumulative, nearly impossible to trace. That breakfast bar with 20 grams of protein might contain dairy base that's been heated 3 times, each cycle degrading amino acids and concentrating oxidation compounds. The system persists because invisibility is its foundation. Seeing it doesn't dismantle it, but blindness sustains it. Can you look at a protein bar and see the yogurt it used to be? Can you taste the history the label erased? The system doesn't require your approval. It requires your ignorance. And once that's gone, fresh never looks the same.